Hey, Bryn, do you know, like, is there a way maybe the ball's coming off your hands or the first couple shots go down? Is there a way that you know that you're going to have a hot shooting night like you did in the first half tonight?
No, not at all, man. It's more of like just catching a rhythm, and once you get in the game, you kind of find that out after the first couple shots. If it feels good and it's falling exactly where you want it to, you kind of figure it out that you're in a rhythm, and just try and get more shots off.
Is that feeling kind of contagious? Because, you came in and knocked down a couple of shots and you see Pat come in and knock down a couple of threes. Does it really rub off on other guys as well?
I don't know about that. I think a big thing for tonight was the way we moved the ball. I think moving the ball, setting great screens, and I also think defense had something to do with it. We were getting big stops and pushing in transition and just finding shots, and everything. I think we played great together, and that's what you get.
Eric, name?
In game one, they really forced you off the line. Like you had some, pump fake drives with real force. What do you see that was different tonight that you were able to get those threes? Like, do you think game one driving them, maybe made them think twice a little bit, or just kind of what you see?
I don't know. That's just honestly, that's just the way the game goes. Sometimes there's some games you don't get many open looks from three, and then there's other games you can get 20 of them off if you could. But yeah, no, it's that's just how the game goes, man. It's ebbs and flows. Some games you're open a lot more, and some games you aren't. And tonight I think we moved the ball. We moved the ball great, and got a lot of open shots.
I just asked Jrue about how much fun he had hunting threes for you. And he was like, my man was going to get the ball. Like, no matter what, I was going to find him with the ball because we knew it was probably going to go in. So how much fun for you is it? Like, I just heard Jrue say it was a lot of fun for him. For you, but what are you thinking as kind of like the whole team is going to try to find you?
Oh, I love it, man. Once you get into a rhythm, and then guys like Jrue, and Drew's a great facilitator. Dante, Giannis, all them guys are very good passers. So when you got them on your team, you're gonna get more. So it's always great catching that rhythm early, and then knowing you got teammates that are gonna find you.
Is that pressure? Like they're trying to feed you, like just keep you going. Like there's gotta be a little bit of pressure to keep hitting shots.
No, not at all. Honestly, I mean it's fun for me. It's probably everyone likes to make shots. Everybody likes to see their team shots go in. So I think no pressure. It's just a good time.
I asked Boda earlier, like you hit the three to go up 29-10, and then on the very next possession, you get a tip over on the sideline right by the bench. You guys are pressing 94 feet. Just kind of what you think about your guys' ability to really kind of make them feel you tonight defensively.
I think we did a much better job than we did the previous game. I think if we come with that effort and that focus and intensity of whether it's picking up 94 feet or whatever we had to do, I think we're a very hard team to beat. I think we're one of the best teams out there if that's how we're playing, and that's where our mindset is.
Steve McGarkey.
I just wondering, when you decided to join the Bucks during the offseason, how much were you looking forward to these types of situations, participating in the playoffs, this type of stage?
I mean, that was a huge part of me coming here, knowing that there would be these opportunities, and there would be, we would be in the playoffs, and we would, that there would be these opportunities. So I think, it's just great to be in the position and to be in the playoffs again and have an opportunity in a stage,
Kane Pittman.
Hey, Bryn, you sort of mentioned how much fun it is for you, which I think seems obvious, but you're kind of a low-key guy. So I'm wondering, particularly in a situation like that timeout where it's 29-10, you hit your second three, I think it was. What are you like in those timeouts? Are you like telling these guys that, okay, I'm feeling it now, get me the ball? Can you just give us some sort of insight into those types of interactions you have when you're on a roll like that?
No, not at all, man. I think, one thing that Jrue does a great job of, and all the other guys, I think in this instance it was Jrue, and he just tells me, be ready, I'm coming to you. So he does a great job of finding me, and a lot of other guys do too. But in that instance, that was a conversation had. I never need to tell him to pass me the ball, honestly, or that I'm hot. He knows. All them guys do. They're, great teammates. They can feel the flow of a game. So, you know, they do a great job of that. And in the timeout, I'm just, you know, catching my breath. So.
All right, one more to David in Italy.
Hey, Bryn, congrats for the win. How can you guys replicate this type of performance in Game 3 going into Miami?
I think the defensive intensity, to be honest with you, defensive intensity and focus, I think if we can bring that, you know, it's going to be hard for teams to beat us. I think that's when we'll be at our best. I think the offense will obviously take care of itself, but if we can play defense, I think we held them to 20 points in the first quarter. If we can do that, something similar every night, that's huge for us. So.
All right, thank you, Bryn.
Thank you.
Hey, Jrue. You had 15 assists tonight. That is one short of a Bucks playoff record. I guess just for you, Khris kind of pointed to you as the guy that was executing, finding open shots, really kind of making it your priority to get everyone involved. Just kind of what were you seeing out there as a playmaker tonight?
Really just trying to attack the paint and dish out. We know they're a team that is a great defensive team, and they pack the paint when they play. And you know, last game we didn't make as many threes as we wanted to, but just trusting ourselves and our teammates, being able to get into the paint and dish it out for three for some wide open looks.
Can you explain to me how much fun it is to hunt an open three for Bryn Forbes? It looked like in transition you were going to get him that one no matter what, and you were jacked about it.
I mean, look, I'm here to support, and if my man got the hot hand, I'm going to him, and he wasn't missing. So at that point, we running everything for him just to see what happens. And my man damn near had 20 in the first half. So.
For you, obviously, we always talk about defense, but you guys were pressing 94 feet for most of that first half. What do you think of your team's commitment to have that willingness to put that pressure on Miami and really make them feel you?
Yeah, you know, we feel like that's to our advantage. They're a team that executes pretty well, really well. So the less time that they have on the clock, you know, it's a little bit more difficult. And we understand that, so we just want to be able to pressure up and make it difficult on them.
Zora Stevenson.
What do you feel like you all must keep in mind as we head down to South Beach? Look it up here. Could you hear me? Sorry.
I didn't exactly hear did y'all hear it?
So basically the question is, what must you all keep in mind as you head down to South Beach?
Keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. We got to go down there like it's us against the world. We know how it is when somebody goes back home and they're playing in front of their home crowd. But at that point, it's going to be us against the world. So we're going to have to wrap our arms around each other and be our own energy and be our own fans at that point.
Steve McGargy.
Just wondering, you had the big lead early on, and you never really let Miami get back into it at any point. How'd y'all kind of keep your focus and what was being said there after the first quarter, just in terms of making sure they didn't rally there?
I just think locking in. Every time out, you had Giannis saying, don't let the foot off the gas. You had Coach preaching it to us. So at that point, you know, we just felt like we had to lock in. And we know what type of team Miami is, where they play hard for 48 minutes. And at this point, we feel like we had the advantage and never wanted to give that up.
All right, thanks, Jrue.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Khris, I guess just to start, I mean, to have, I mean, you've had 40-point quarters, you know, 70-point halves, I guess, but to do it in a playoff series, game 2, just what was working? What did it feel like? Obviously, you have more fans than you've had all season. You know, that kind of vibe, I guess, in that first half.
Man, we started the gate. You know, I can't really put words to it. I jumped on them quick, and didn't you know, let go of it. Didn't, you know, settle, or we just kept, you know, pushing the pace. Kept trying to defend the way we were. Shots were falling. You know, Bryn was hot, extremely hot in that first half. But now I think overall, I think the mindset was just come out and defend and play as hard as we could, and then we rolled our energy through the crowd.
Well, speaking of energy, I mean, again, it's not new, but new for this year. And then, you know, they maybe pushed some buttons with some fouls and things like that. How important was that, I guess, for you guys to also keep composure and keep emotions in check when maybe it could have gotten a little, you know, a little testy?
Exactly what you said, man. Just know we're playing basketball out there. I mean, you know, guys may try to do some different things out there to try to slow us down and get us thinking about, certain things. But we're basketball players. We're just going to let that go, let the refs control the game the way they see it. We're just going to continue to play, not, get caught up in all those other different type of antics.
Eric Dane.
Obviously, your offensive execution would be better when you had shots, but also it looked like there was a lot of, kind of emphasis on getting good shots and kind of getting into the offense and getting the spots that you wanted. Just what do you think of the way that you did that, the way that you executed and kind of were sharp from the very beginning?
Yeah, I think, a lot of it starts with myself, Jrue, and Giannis. We had the ball in our hands the majority of the time. And I think the way, especially Jrue came out and was pushing, just finding guys, being a force downhill. So with Giannis, those guys were finding guys early. And that's what, really gave us the confidence, to shoot the open shot. We shot terrible last game. So we wanted to prove that we can knock down at least a couple more shots than we did last game. They did.
What was kind of the message for you guys on the offensive glass? It feels like it's been a real emphasis in this series. And I think tonight at the half, you had rebounded 50% of your misses.
He's been on us all year about that. I mean, we definitely saw some clips where, we can take advantage of crashing the boards. I think Dante does a great job of flying in from all over the places. Bobby, Giannis, Jrue, even Brooke. Myself is really not in there as much, but I could. But it's just a balance that we want to have with some guys attacking the glass and then also being ready to get back to handling their transition.
And then defensively, you kind of mentioned your intensity. I think Bryn hits the three to go up 29-10. You guys come out of the timeout, full court pressing, and Bryn gets a tip out of bounds. Just what does it mean to you that, hey, this dude that's having a huge quarter is also willing to give you that effort on defense?
And that's what it's all about. That's the only way we're going to win a series or win a game is playing defense. Miami, they're a great team, a great defensive team also. So, we have to be better on both sides of the ball.
Or Stevenson.
Khris, I know during the regular season, you talk a lot about why it's so nice to not have to play like the entirety of the game and maybe get a couple minutes off towards the end. Why is that even nicer in the playoffs to have a couple minutes where you don't necessarily have to finish it out?
It's great. I mean, that means we're taking care of our business, doing what we're supposed to do, and then also giving, other guys a chance to get out there, get some type of playoff experience under their belt. But I think the most important thing is to get a win, whether they come easy or hard. It's going to be difficult in the playoffs. Not every game is going to be like this or the last game, but we just got to continue to, stick to our game plan, do what we do, and be ready for anything.
In the third quarter, there was a play where you and Giannis were in a pick and roll, and you were telling Giannis, like, roll, roll, and I could see you, like, actually telling him. Just how do you feel like your communication has evolved throughout your years in the NBA?
Yeah, it's just, year-by-year process of, watching film, talking to my teammates, talking to coaches. They tell me, read the defense and just communicate with your teammates, what you see. My teammates have trusted me that, I'm telling them the right thing to try to get them the ball or, just try to take advantage of something. That's what it's all about from, me all the way down into the rosters. We all got to communicate out here to be on the same page to execute.
Steve McGargy.
Yeah, I'm just wondering about the confidence level this team has in Bryn, his shooting ability, and how that's developed over the course of the season. Doesn't surprise you when he has a first quarter like what he had tonight.
It's not surprising at all. We know how well Bryn can shoot, especially playing against him the past couple of years. And we know what he brings to the table. He's not just a shooter. He's a guy that can put it on the ground a couple of times to get to the bucket also. I mean, it's just it's going to be huge for us going down the stretch here in the playoffs, especially in this series.
All right, one more to Jack Maloney from CBS Sports.
Hey, Khris. Going off the shooting again, kind of the threes in the first half came off of misses or stops from Miami. Was that something you guys were looking forward to try to push and get easier looks when the defense wasn't set up?
Yeah, that's how many thing we want to do is push the ball, have a great pace with us, get downhill, try to get to the rim first, and then collapse the defense and find our open guys, and just play basketball from there. It worked out early, which was great.
All right, thanks, Khris.
Yep.